Hey guys, today I want to talk about the most used sentence in all of the realm, which is I'm just tired. No matter who you are, I bet you've said these words before when you've been asked, how are you? How are you doing? Are you okay? And you just say, yeah, I'm just tired. And I really wanted to dissect this because more times than not, the I'm just tired thing isn't really being tired, right? I think this sentence comes from one of two places. Firstly, it's either not wanting to explain how you really feel, or not trusting the person to understand, or not understanding it yourself yet, or not wanting to feel like you have to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, basically. And the other place that it comes from is the fact that we just don't know how we really feel, and so we're feeling tired but we don't understand that there's something deeper going on beneath the surface. So when people say I'm just tired, what do they really mean? I think a big one that people mean is that they're burnt out. So if you are a creative type or somebody who has a demanding job, a lot of your mental energy goes into it, both in and out of the office, it's kind of on your mind all day, every day, then you are likely to experience burnout at some point in your life. This is where you've put so much energy into something, like your mind, your emotions, your this, your that, and suddenly you burn out. And this isn't quite the same as stress, I think, because stress, you know, it can be healthy, stress can, but burnout is kind of never healthy. It's never good to burn out. And with stress, which is the second point on my sheet, is that you feel like you've got too many different things to do, which causes stress, and you're kind of juggling this, you're juggling that, you're trying to be here, you're trying to be there, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, and so you become stressed because you've got this weight on your shoulders. Whereas burnout is just doing too much of probably just one thing, and it drains your energy, basically. So when you say that you're tired, maybe you're drained of energy. You've just been doing too much of this one thing, even if it brings you joy. Like, I've felt burnout from plenty of writing projects. Even though I love them, it still drains me, like, it, in a way that you don't even notice it's happening until you realise that you've just got nothing left in your tank. And the same goes for stress, when I've wanted to do too many things at once, thinking about too many things at once, and become stressed. And that makes you feel tired, even though the underlying cause is the stress. Another thing is something like being uninspired or unmotivated or unfocused. Again, if you're a creative type, this is very disheartening because it can be hard to not have that creativity that you usually depend on, to not feel like you're into your projects anymore. And that's really distressing because it's like my life, my living, perhaps my who I am is tied to this thing that I do, and suddenly I can't do it anymore. That's really, really hurtful, and it gets to you deep in your emotions, deep into your spirit, and then that makes you feel like you're just drained of energy, you're completely unfocused and uninspired and unmotivated, and you start to beat yourself up for being unmotivated, uninspired and all that. So that's really difficult to deal with if that's what you are dealing with. But it's also something that you can take a step back once you realise that's what it is, and be like, okay, so I'm not just tired. Instead, I'm kind of like the well's empty, or, you know, maybe this project isn't doing for me what it used to do. Maybe I need to mix things up, get a new routine as I tackle this thing to get back into the love with it. Another thing is feeling overwhelmed, which is similar to stress. If you're being overwhelmed by such deadlines and people demanding things, and you've got this thing that you've put on yourself that you want to do, and this other person wants you to do this thing, and you're just overwhelmed. It's similar to stress, but it's also like you can't handle how much that's going on. You kind of can't focus, and like, what's going on, I don't know what to do, and you kind of like break down and you just shut off and you do nothing, and you become unproductive because it's like, I'm so overwhelmed that I can't process it. And then that can feel like fatigue, like tiredness, but instead it's just, I'm overwhelmed by this and that, and so I need to take a step back, start to prioritise, manage my time effectively, say no to certain people, say yes to certain things, and get things laid out in a way that you can handle it, that you're less overwhelmed, and of course less stressed as a result. Another thing is that you could be frustrated. Like, I know that I've been frustrated by things, and when I feel frustrated, I feel I feel icky, and I don't quite know what's going on inside of me, and I'm really snappy and irritable with other people, and I get angry at myself for not doing what I want to do, and it's just like, ah. So obviously frustration comes from somewhere. Like, what are you frustrated about? Are you frustrated about something not going your way, something not being done yet that you thought would be done, or something that you really wanted and put a lot of time and effort into and then it just didn't pan out, something like that, and it's caused you to be frustrated, and it's affected you much more than you thought it did, and you didn't confront it, you didn't deal with it, and so now it's manifested as this horrible ickiness inside of you, and it's making you tired, it's making you drained, it's making you irritable and hard to be around. Of course, maybe it's just a low mood. Maybe you're just in a low time in your life and you're not feeling very good. Or maybe it's just one day, 1 hour of the day, anything like that. Like, low moods don't have a time on them, really. Of course, it's something that's usually tied to things like depression. But you can have a low mood no matter who you are. And this is a feelings of sadness, of feeling unproductive, uninterested, unmotivated, feeling like you just can't bring yourself out of bed. That doesn't mean that you're depressed, but it is also a symptom of depression. But yeah, anybody can get a low mood, and if that's how you're feeling, then that's different to being just tired. That is very different to being just tired. Instead, with a low mood, there might be a reason for the low mood, and that you can fix, or it might be a call from your inside saying, hey, I want you to take a breather, I want you to take a break. Because I said in one of my blog posts, why we need sadness, that sometimes sadness comes along to get us to stop, to pause, to breathe, because we're always going and busy in this world that we live in. And so I think sadness comes along sometimes to make us stop, reflect, go inwards and realise what's going on around us, because when we're happy and we're going and we're busy, we don't really take that time to stop and breathe and see what's going on around us. So maybe the low moods come into your life to say, hey, you've been too busy, you've been doing too much, I want you to breathe for a second, take inventory, be grateful for what's around you, and just look after yourself, you know? And the last thing that I wrote down is that you could be just out of alignment. Well, anybody who's not in the spiritual kind of world or community doesn't really know what alignment means. But like, out of alignment means when you're disconnected from yourself, when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, when you're not doing what's actually fulfilling to you. So if you're in a job or working on a project or in a relationship with something that doesn't give you real meaning, real purpose, real fulfillment, then you're out of alignment. You are disconnected from your true self, your true spirit, your true wants and needs. And so if you're not giving that to yourself, then you're going to feel just tired, you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to feel uninspired, you're going to feel like you're not yourself. And so it's good to take a step back and realise, okay, so what's actually going on? Am I doing the wrong things? Am I with the wrong people? Am I putting my energy into the wrong things? Am I allowing other people to steal my energy? Like, what's going on? I'm not just tired. Instead, there might be something going on here that's bringing me out of myself. And none of us ever want to be out of ourselves. I mean, we all get lost, get deterred. So instead, you need to be able to bring yourself back, to look within and say, okay, yes, this is what's going on. This is what I need. This is who I am. And as hard as it might be to be who I am, it's much more of a beautiful life lived if I am who I am, unapologetically. So yeah, I just wanted to speak about that today, because I kind of woke up feeling like, oh, I'm so tired, and I realised that I wasn't actually that tired. It's just that I was feeling a bit uninspired, and I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. I was like, okay, so what do? I don't know. And I felt unfocused. And so once I was able to put a label on it and able to say, okay, that's what I'm feeling, it was a lot easier to then bring myself out of it, to say, hi, you're not tired, you don't need to sleep more, instead you just need to do X, Y and Z. And there you go, I had a better day for it. So look within, ask yourself the questions. What are you actually feeling? Put a label on it, identify the emotions, identify what you need to do about it. Good luck, guys. Bye.